Hello, my name is Stacy. Welcome to Simply Liminal. This is my seasonal reading for the summer solstice in the Northern Hemisphere for a celebration. If you celebrate the classic wheel of the year known as Lithia. Sometimes I've heard it pronounced Lithia, but I was taught Lithia, and that word comes from the Anglo-Saxon and basically translates to summer. And we really are at high summer right now. The summer solstice is when the days are longest and the nights are shortest. So we get that peak energy of the sun in the Northern Hemisphere. And it's definitely a reason to celebrate, be grateful, bask in the glow of the sun and the long days. Symbols of this season are the sun, fire, sunflowers, daisies, honey, honeybees, spiral patterns, crystals that are associated with this time of year or this season are golden and yellow crystals. I think of honey calcite, I think of citrine, I think of sunstone. That's one of my favorites for this time of year. I'm also a Leo, and so sunstone relates to me in that way. Golden healer quartz is another one that I really think works well with this time of year. Amber, Baltic ambers have those deep golden colors that are very beautiful to work with. And no matter what your spiritual practices are, we all recognize that there are four major points in our year. We have the equinoxes in the spring and the fall, and then we have our solstices in the winter and the summer. So the equinoxes, obviously we are in balance with the days and the nights and the dark and the light. And the solstices are different. We are not necessarily out of balance. I don't want to term it like we're out of balance, but in a way we are, because we veer one way or the other. So the summer solstice in the Northern Hemisphere, where we're at now, the days are long and the nights are quite short, and it seems like there's really not much darkness at all. I mean, really where I'm at, we get maybe 7-8 hours of complete dark, and sometimes it doesn't even feel like it's complete dark. And then we'll have the balance in the winter at the winter solstice, balance basically of the summer solstice to the winter solstice, where we have long nights and very short days. And so the energy is very different. But this time of year, everything is growing and flourishing, and it's warm and just vibrant energy from the sun. And so these are the things that I want to celebrate. Regardless of how you look at the wheel of the year, or whether you look at those Celtic holidays to celebrate them, there's still points in the year that are worth noting and paying attention to. And definitely the summer solstice is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I know people who will stay up all night on the summer solstice, so they can watch the sunrise in the morning. And I will just mention that the word solstice comes to us from the Latin, and it translates basically to solsticere, or sol, which is the sun, and sistere, which means stand still. And so really at the summer solstice, which this year it's going to be on the June 20th. Sometimes it's on the 21st, but this year for us it's June 20th, and about not quite 3 o'clock p.m. where I'm from, which is Mountain Standard Time in the U.S. It'll be at a different time and place depending on, where you live. And that's great. That's what makes everything about where we're at individual and special. But here, that's when it's going to be, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I plan on being out, enjoying the sun for several hours. I hope it's sunny. It might not be. Doesn't matter. The energy is still there. Whether it's cloudy, hopefully it's not going to be rainy, but you never know. I mean, it's still worth being out in nature and really taking in the energy of that. If you can see the sunrise and the sunset on that day, even better. But we all have different schedules in life. So anyway, So, as always, since I started these readings on this channel for the winter solstice, I was working with this deck. This is the Denise Linn Sacred Forest Oracle. She's got a bit of a shiny foil pattern there. You can kind of see it. The Sacred Forest Oracle. And so this is what I've been working with for my readings this year. And so what we're going to continue to do. And so we look at 7 cards for these readings. I look at 1 card, which will be our energy card. Basically the energy for the season that's coming to us. Then I'll look at 3 cards, which looks at things that we want to release or at least not focus on for this next season, which lasts 7-ish weeks, 7 to 8 weeks. And then we'll look at 3 cards, which are things that we want to initiate or focus on in this period to help us work on this energy that's coming at us. So, this is the card deck, the back of the card deck. If you've been watching my other readings, you'll have recognized it, but this is a beautiful deck. It's kind of funny. Denise Linn is one of my favorite Oracle card authors and spiritual teachers, I guess, along with Colette Baron-Reid. But this time, right now, this time of year, it seems like Denise Linn is speaking to us. I just got done working with a new deck of hers for my weekly readings, the Time Traveler's Oracle. And then I'm working with her on this next week with her Native Spirit Oracle. And so it just seems like we have a trifecta here because we are working with her Sacred Forest Oracle deck for this Lithia Summer Solstice reading. So let's shuffle this one more time and then get into the reading. We had a really interesting reading at Beltane, and I'm going to try to link that below so you can go back and look at those readings and see, how you feel that season went. I've rewatched the reading, and I see a lot of things now that I didn't necessarily expect at the beginning of that Beltane season, which was May 1st, roughly. So let's take a look at our energy. Okay, so here is our overall energy card. And then last time I kind of shuffled a little bit different. I'm going to go through the deck one way, and then I'm going to pull the top 3 cards for our release energy. So we have 1, we have 2, and we have 3. And hopefully those are all showing up in frame. Okay, and then we're going to shuffle one more time. And then we're going to look at the things that we're going to initiate. And we'll look at the top 3 things, again, for our initiation. And we'll see. I'm always curious to see how this reading lines up with the reading from the previous season, just to see. There's a little bit of give and take. Okay, so let's take a look at our initial overall energy that's coming to us at the summer solstice. Always exciting to turn this card. Interesting. We have the Spirit Guardian of Autumn, and this is letting go is our overall message, which is not what we necessarily think of when we're at this peak, but really we recognize that. Let me hold this up just a little bit more so you can see the gorgeous artwork on this deck. That really, once we get to this point of the year, the days do start to get shorter. I mean, after 4 or 5 days, when really the sun does seem to stand still, we move into this season where the days get shorter and we're moving towards autumn. And what autumn feels like to me is harvest energy. So right now at the summer solstice, we are at the peak of our growing season. Things have been seeded, they're growing, but we're not ready to harvest yet. But that is the energy that we're moving towards. And by the time we get to our next holiday, which will be Lammas around August 1st, usually traditionally celebrated on August 1st, we will be moving into that harvest energy. So let's take a look at what Denise has wrote here about this deck. I just want to get to the right page here, because what she channeled through is very, very important. So here we go. Spirit Guardian of Autumn, and this message is letting go. And this says surrender. All is well. You don't have to do it alone. The Creator is at your side. Letting go can heal the need to be in control, the stress of unfilled expectations, the anguish of needing to decide how things should be, and the tension of wanting others to act in a particular way. These things can lead to unhappiness. So letting go opens up a space for relaxation, healing, and success. This does say here, Earth-based cultures recognize the 4 power points of the year, which are the spring and fall equinoxes and the summer and winter solstices, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. These times have profound spiritual meaning for us. So to the indigenous peoples, the autumn was the time of things slowing down. It was the time of change, reflection, harvest, and preparation for the next season. One thing that I really has showed up recently in my daily readings, if you'd like to check those out, is the concept of transformation that came up at the end of our Beltane readings, and it's been coming up a lot. And so I think some of transformation is leading us to needing to let go. And sometimes that's the hardest part of transforming, is breaking out of that chrysalis stage and allowing ourselves to become something new. So the Spirit Guardian of Autumn message is to us: relinquish control and let Spirit take over. You don't need to do everything yourself. Release whatever in life doesn't serve you. Clutter clear your life. Simply open your heart, let go, and allow Spirit to help and support you. So it's interesting that the last energy we had during our Beltane reading was Secret Spring and success. And I really feel like we did have that, but this energy is about letting go. So let's take a look at the first things that we want to either release or not focus on to help bring this energy to us. So we have the Crystal Cave card. Let me lift this up here. Hopefully you can see it. The artwork on this is beautiful, but this is the cards are a little bit dark, which makes them very spectacularly mystic, I think. And the message is trust. So we don't necessarily want to release trust, but we need to allow trust to protect us, I guess, in these times of transition. Not easy to do. I mean, it's sometimes really hard, but we need to allow that to help us move forward. Sorry, I gotta find the right spot in the book. This is the 9 card. This deck is not, some decks she has are alphabetical. This deck is not. So here we go. Crystal Cave, and it is trust. Caves have long been considered secret passages to sacred powers and forces. Certain shamanic initiations occurred in caves because they were thought to be places where your intuition could be activated. The appearance of this card is a message to believe in your intuition no matter where it takes you. Have faith in yourself and know that you're divinely guided, even when you have doubts. And so I think that really what we want to release here is our doubt. And the Spirit of the Crystal Cave message is, you can let go and allow your clear, focused intuition to flow freely. Follow the nudges from your soul. Listen to others, but trust your instincts. And this is all part of allowing this energy of letting go to come to us. So let's take a look at the next card that we're going to work on releasing, or at least not focusing at this time. We have air spirit, and we have knowledge. And so this is another just gorgeous, gorgeous card here. And this is the #1 card in the deck. So that's very special. If we were kind of looking at this like it was a tarot card, this would be the Magician, and that is all powerful. So we have air spirit here, and I'm going to read what she has here. And you know, I know it seems odd. We never really want to release knowledge, right? But we sometimes need to allow ourselves to trust our intuition more than the things that we know in our mental brain, in our human brain. So it says here, Air Spirit says, you receive this card when you need to think things through. This is not a time to be impulsive. Do not react instinctively to situations and people. Take into consideration all points of view, do your research, listen to others, speak your truth. Take time to weigh the pros and cons of the situation. But now, since this is in a kind of release or unfocused energy, this is something that we want to allow. We want to trust ourselves a little bit more and think a little bit less. So the spirit of air says, inhale, take a moment to think things through. Think as well as feel the right direction. Get clarity and become focused before stepping forth. Take care to have thoughtful communication with others. Which does kind of make sense because we're in Gemini season, and Gemini is all about the mind. It's about the thought process. It's about looking at several different paths and almost overthinking to the point of you can make yourself crazy by overthinking. I do this. I have my midheaven is in Gemini, and I think and overthink. And so I think what we need to do, since this is in this position, is we need to release overthinking and just allow our intuition to kick in. So let's look at the last card here in this, on this side, to see. And we have the Spirit Guardian of Summer, which is expansion. And actually this card came up for us last reading in the same position, in a release position. So we have the Spirit Guardian of Summer, and the message here is expansion. Isn't this just another gorgeous card? Aren't they all just beautiful? But of course, we don't really want to ever release expansion, but sometimes we need to contract a little bit and not continue to put forth leaves and roots at this time. We need to allow our stability to gain a foothold. So the message here is vitality, health, success, abundance, healing, and passion are expanding in your life. However, you can't sit back and wait for it to happen. The energy of summer is the energy of working with passion in the direction of your dreams. Give it everything you've got, an immense reward will follow. Do not sit on the sidelines. Work hard, play hard, and your labor will pay off. But really, these are the things that we're releasing right now. So we do want to allow ourselves just to relax and let the flow happen. We will be moving into Cancer season at this point. We're just leaving. The summer solstice is the moment when we cross from Gemini into Cancer. And so we're going to allow that watery, fluid energy to take over for us. So let's look at our things that we're going to bring in or focus on to see if that helps make sense of this reading a little bit more. Okay, so the first thing that we want to initiate or bring in is the meandering pathway and its flow. And so this does make sense. Though I was talking about Cancer season coming to us as in watery energy, watery is a very flowing. And so this message here is flow. This message also is the 24 card, which I think is important at this time because we're in the 24 year. So when this is popping up, I do think it's something to focus on. And we know that this is energy that we're going to bring into us now. So the message here is, when life presents you a meandering path rather than a straight shot to the goal, you can feel frustrated. You might bemoan the fact that the path seems aimless or a roundabout, or that you can't see what's ahead. But on the other hand, you can just enjoy the voyage. If life right now seems to have some sinuous curves, bends, loops, and turns, do not despair. All is as it should be. This card is suggesting that you relinquish control to the path forward and just see where it takes you. So there is trust here. We need to trust and allow ourselves to believe that we are on the right path, even if it seems confusing and like we're not going to get to where we need to be. Spirit knows where we need to be. The spirit of the meandering path says to us, everything falls into place when you don't resist the flow of the meandering pathway of life. Allow the path to take you to where you need to go. Don't hurry in or resist it. Simply let go, surrender, and enjoy the journey. And you know, this is a beautiful time of year to surrender. When the days are at the longest, when everything is glowing and flourishing. So allow yourself to flow and let what happens, happens, because it's the path you're meant to be on. So let's take a look at our next card here in this pile. We have Fire Spirit, and we have energy. And look at her. Isn't she beautiful? She's standing here in the forest with 2 flames in her hands. And really, there's nothing necessarily about this card that speaks of Hecate energy, but I really get that vibe from this card, especially as she's standing there. She's not holding torches, but she is holding flames, and she is all about energy and fire. So let's take a look at what this card has to say to help us know how we're going to work with this. So it's a 17 card. And the message here is take action. This is not the time to hold back in life. Do not repress what you feel or allow yourself to be drained by others. If you strive to meet everyone's expectations and fulfill the needs of others, but forget to honor your own needs, your energy field becomes depleted and dull. Break free of your constraints, whether self-inflicted or imposed upon you by others. Activate your verve and your passion. Give your emotion free rein. Waves of energy will surge through you as you spontaneously express yourself. And the Spirit of Fire says, incredible vitality, life force energy, and passion are expanding in your life. If you start to feel drained by the expectations of others, don't hold back. Ignite that inner fire. Speak your truth. Let the light of the Creator surge through you. So we have this idea of flow and a meandering path, but it's also telling us don't lollygag on the path. Step forward on this path. Even if it feels like it's not taking you to anywhere you can see right now, step boldly forward on that path and you will get to where you need to be. So let's take a look at our last card in this initiation energy here, or pile. We have the Moonlight Enchantment card, and it is magic. And that is a beautiful thing. And I have to tell you, I've never drawn this card for myself personally or in a reading. I have looked at it as I've looked through this deck multiple times, but I've never had it show up for a reading. And so I do also want to just mention that we are moving into Cancer season, and the moon is tied to Cancer. Watery feminine Cancer energy is tied to the moon, the divine feminine. So that's what we've got going on here. We also have a wolf howling at the moon. Again, this card really makes me think of Hecate. Everything over here actually does. And if you don't know the energy of Hecate, that is something you can look up. She is one of those guardians of the liminal spaces. She is a wayfinder, a way leader. She will guide you on your path if you allow her to. So the message here on this card is magic, and it says magic is all around you. Hecate is also considered to be the goddess of magic. So magic is all around you. The veil between the worlds is thin right now. Fairies, elves, angels, and spirit beings are just a thought away. It is indeed a magic universe, and the key to opening the doors to those realms is to trust. Hecate is also associated with keys and gates. She is the key holder. So this whole energy over here really screams her energy. All may not be as it seems. By the protective light of the moon, the magic of the universe surrounds you. Even though it is dark, the light of the moon shows you the way, reminding you to trust what you feel. You are safe, even if you can't see. Have faith that you are being supported in mysterious and wondrous ways by unseen beings in accordance to your highest good. I also want to mention, as we move into this summer solstice, that we are entering this full moon phase. So this is like the day before the full moon. The full moon is officially tomorrow. And the full moon energy really lasts for 3 days. The day of, the day before, the day after. That's how I've classically been taught, and it's what my instinct tells me is correct. So we have this beautiful full moon energy. We have a full moon in Capricorn coming at us, so be aware. You'll feel that grounded earth energy with that. The Spirit of Moonlight Enchantment says, believe in magic. You are being given powerful mystical messages from Spirit. Take time to listen. Allow the luminescent receptive energy of the moon to activate your creativity. You receive mystical messages, and you are a spiritual messenger for others. So this is really a very beautiful reading, especially with the things that we're going to allow in. And I don't want the reading to go on much longer because I know your time is very special, but this reading is just packed full of energy. So we have the spirit of autumn here, which is kind of where we're going to be by the end of this season. We'll be moving into that harvest, but all the seeds that we've planted are growing. We're at the peak right now of the growing season, and we're moving towards the harvest. So the things that we're not going to focus on right now are overthinking things. We're not going to concern ourselves with growth right now or pushing forward to it. We're just going to allow it to happen. And we are going to allow flow to happen. We are going to follow the path forward, step boldly on that flowing, meandering path, and allow and receive magic into your life. And really, if you don't know anything about Hecate, I would take a look at her energy, because these cards scream her energy, and I think she's very much showing up for us right now. And I am always excited when she presents herself in readings, in energy, in signs and symbols and messages to us. So I hope you found this reading helpful. I'm sorry it went a longer than I hoped or wanted it to, but I think it's important. And I hope you all have enjoyed it. Please like, please subscribe, please share, please leave me comments. I am so grateful to you all. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed summer solstice. Enjoy the Lithia season. Have a blessed, blessed, blessed day.